Brother, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. I was talking to Sean Brady in the last episode, and I was telling him how he is a name that I hear all the time. You're the exact same way. I hear your name come up often. Hardworking. This guy's going to be the next big thing. This guy deserves it all. Everybody roots for you. How does that feel?
Feels good. You know, I always try to work hard and, lead by example.
What is it that you do that separates you think, in the gyms that makes everybody kind of look up to you?
I just never underestimate my opponents, and, I just work as hard as I can because I demand the most out of myself, regardless of who's in front of me. And that's, at the end of the day, it's all I could do.
So how long? Well, I'm gonna, like I tell you, I'm gonna skip around a ton. But first things first, you got called into the UFC, a big moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two times moment. Already? One time?
One.
Once.
This
last time.
Yeah, the last time was the first one.
The one where the guy missed weight by like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
It is an exaggeration, but he missed weight by a lot. How was it when you got the call, first of all?
So, first of all, I thought I was going to have more time, obviously. So, I was kind of excited and all, but then I found out it was a week. I was excited, of course, because it's the call, but, I knew that it was going to be a stressful week, and it was.
Right. Now, do you stay ready, obviously?
All the time.
So you're ready to go. But is it one of those situations where you're like, shit, I'm about to make my first kind of big splash in front of all these people. Do I really want to do it in a week's notice or what? Like, is that okay? Or how does that feel?
When opportunity knocks, and you'd be a fool not to answer.
Right. A lot of people say the typical way you get into the UFC is these last minute kind of.
That's what it seems to be.
Right. So can you, before you take me through your career, can you kind of set up a picture of what it looked like growing up? Where did you grow up? What was your family like?
I'm from Bristol, PA. Have a really good family. They've always been supportive. My dad actually wanted me to be a hockey player when I was younger. He had me on skates when I was 2. And right around like 5 or 6 years old, I started getting into like karate and stuff because I was getting bullied in school. Okay. Yeah, and one thing led to another. I gave up hockey around like 9, found jiu-jitsu around 9 or 10. Okay. And jiu-jitsu led to wrestling. Wrestling led to amateur MMA, and picked up some combat sambo along the way, and turned pro at 23 with the MMA.
Was people in your family into fighting?
No. Actually, most of my family is hockey players.
Hockey,
yeah.
Really?
I kind of broke the mold with that.
Like the enforcers in hockey, or just straight up? You know what I mean? Like, were they the tough guys in hockey, or were they just regular?
No, they were like, my dad was rough with the with the hockey for sure.
Right, so you have it in you a little bit.
From
the family. Was your dad disappointed when you decided to quit hockey, or?
He was, but like he put his own feelings to the side to support me in what I wanted to do, which I'm thankful for.
So you went from any other siblings?
One sister, younger sister.
One sister. How does she feel about you as a fighter? And
she's supportive too. She's her own person. She's awesome. She's excited to get down to Florida. Support me with this next fight.
Mm-hmm. All right. So then, at what age you started doing all those different things? At what age was MMA in your radar? Altogether? So
I was 17, and actually I was 16, and I'm like, what? I really want to try like an amateur fight. And everyone's like, you're a little young, yada yada. But when I was 17, there was a card that opened up down in Delaware. It was Combat in the Cage.
Okay.
And my coaches at the time, they're like, I think we could do this. And I'm like, let's do it. And I had my first one in like 2008.
So you weren't getting bullied till that age. You were getting bullied earlier on.
Yeah, like 5 years old. 5 years old.
When you were little.
Yeah,
okay.
Little.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the reason? I mean, aside from kids being shitheads sometimes.
Man, I don't know. Yeah. Basically, I was at a Catholic school. Kid didn't like me. It was the same kid, and later on I had to deal with him. Yeah. But we became friends after that.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you. Does he follow your career now? Or?
Man, I haven't seen him in a really, really long time. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I wonder how those people feel. Like, I knew a kid growing up that we used to play basketball all the time, and he was smaller than me and younger than me. But I remember always, we were joking around and making fun of each other. But I remember making one comment. We're like, hey, what do you think? You're going to be in the NBA? And he ended up going to the NBA. so it's one of those things that you're like, shit,
That's awesome.
I wonder if this guy, says like, well, maybe me bullying him, give him a little bit of an incentive.
I wonder, but it definitely did.
So then how cool did it feel at that age, especially because that's an age, right, that you trying to make yourself proud and you kind of want to boost your, how did it feel at that age to do your first fight?
So it was definitely nerve-wracking, but I definitely believed in myself. And my first fight, I went against some guy who was like 23 or 24. Came out with the red mohawk. Came out real.
Was it Hardy or?
No, he looked like him. But I ended up getting a submission in the first round, and
nice.
Ever since then, I fell in love with that feeling. And 13 amateur fights, and man, what's this going to be for me? This will be my 17th pro fight. So, been loving it, man.
Has it gone by in like a flash? Or?
Yes and no. There's been certain times that have lasted longer, and other times it's just like, wow, man, that flew by,
Right. So what was it like fighting in the CFFC?
Oh, it was awesome. It's super professional promotion. I don't have any bad things to say about CFFC. It's always been amazing. There's no easy fights in the CFFC.
Right.
The best, honestly.
So you're fighting this. How many fights did you have in the CFFC before you got the call? Which was not too long ago, obviously.
I'd have to think about that. I'd say at least 6, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe more. No, probably more than that.
And
I don't know.
I think, what was it, the second to last fight? Is that when you got your arm all sorts of?
No, that was 3 fights ago.
3 fights ago. How was that?
So it was definitely an experience, obviously. It was definitely a low point of my career. To be in front of a home crowd, to have that happen in the first minute of the first round. And it definitely sent me to a dark place up here. But if I didn't go to that place, I wouldn't be in the place that I'm at right now. So looking back, I think it was a good thing, not only in my career, but me as a person. I feel like I grew mentally and in here so much just from that experience.
When you say it took you to a dark place, in what sense was it?
Well, for a little bit there, I didn't know if I was going to fight again. You know what I mean? Because, if it was like a broken elbow or something, it could have been.
Right. So just from the injury, you were in a dark place, meaning like my whole thing is over now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, from every aspect, I'm like, man, this is it. I can't believe like it came down to this. And, the people that, support me, my family, my girlfriend, my coaches, my teammates, they literally picked me up when I was down. Like Rob, they picked me up when I was down. And, for that, I'll never forget that.
Right. So then you get yourself back in it. Mm-hmm. You do your thing. Then you get the call. Now you're in the UFC. So tell me, that was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas.
Okay, so you fly out there. You're just working yourself up, doing everything you got to do. You're busting your ass because it's so last minute.
Getting all the medicals.
How was that
done.
whole experience?
Oh man, super stressful. I had to cut 23 pounds in 6 days. I had to get all the medicals done, all the media stuff, the travel. Definitely a battle up here, but we got the weight down and we showed up. But unfortunately, the other guy didn't make weight. Who
helps you cut weight? Is it your team in general?
My coaches, John Marquez, Eric Purcell, and then Daniel was there. Daniel really pushed me like in the sauna. Like he was actually lying to me. He was telling me like, you got 5 more minutes in the sauna. A couple minutes will go by and I'd be like, Daniel, how much time's left? And he'll be like, oh, you have 4 minutes. I'm like, Daniel, you said 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago.
How slow is your watch, bro?
Oh my God, man. But he
got you there.
He got me there.
That's a tough thing to do too. Like, it's obviously the toughest for you, but it's got to be tough to see somebody you care about in there doing their best, and they're at like their finest line between
100%
survival at that
but
point, right?
You know what? Can I be honest with you? They actually made me feel like I could do it.
Yeah,
and that's what got me through it.
It's a special skill to be able to have that relationship and get you to that point. So how pissed? Well, when do you find out that the guy misses weight? So you make weight.
So I make weight. and immediately getting the fluids
Start
in me,
hydrating.
starting to feel good again. And then Sean Shelby walks over, and I remember I was with Eric, and Eric was like, I think Shelby's walking over. I think there might be a problem. I'm like, nah, maybe he's just coming over, to say hi. But he came over and told me, your guy's overweight. And I was like, oh, like what, like a couple pounds? He's like, no, we're talking like double digits, like 11, 12 pounds. I was like, whoa.
Okay, so how disappointing is it at that moment?
It was definitely disappointing. To cut all that weight in that short amount of time, and then that guy who had a full camp can't make weight. When I just cut 23 pounds in 6 days, it was definitely pissed me off.
Because I was going to say, because that would definitely piss me off, and it's almost like, are you serious? Like what I just went through to get this fight. Granted, you're doing it for yourself, right? It's your career, so it's not like, and you're a professional. You're doing what you have to do, whether you end up fighting or not. But it's got to be like, come on, guy. Like this is. What are you doing? Do you think he was trying to get out of the fight because he knew you were risky?
Honestly, I don't think too deep into it. I just realized that everything happens for a reason, and I don't question that reason. I just worry about what I can control, and that's not just in this stuff. It's life in general. I just worry about what I can control, and I did my job.
Now, so what happens after that? Do you stay for the fight? So you fly immediately home?
So we flew home that night, man. Yeah, we got some sushi. We ate up a little bit, and then we went to the airport. Got right out of there. Got right back home, and I was back in the gym Monday, and been training ever since.
Wow. And does your corner kind of boost boost you up a little bit at that point too, kind of just to make you feel a little bit better? Like, dude, we did our work. We're good.
100%.
They help you in that
yeah,
part?
they, like I said, from times when I'm down, times when I'm up, they always, very uplifting people.
That's awesome. So you get back. How long before you jump back in the gym? Just right away?
So we got back that night. So no, we got back Saturday morning, and I was back in the gym Monday.
Wow. Okay. Game plan back on, basically.
So honestly, like once we got back, I kind of started having a little bit more fun with the training because that stress was off a little bit. Started working on some new things, and honestly, I felt like I felt better since that experience. It's weird, but then a couple weeks later, we got a call, and we were supposed to be on the 17th card, but now it got changed.
So it's the 24th? Is that what it is?
24th.
Okay. So how does that work? So once you get the call and you're going to fight in the UFC, even if the fight falls through, now are you an official UFC fighter moving forward, or is it like a one-fight deal and then you go back to waiting on another call?
So basically, like, because I met my end of the contract, that's what got me like officially on the roster and whatnot. Right. So that was a success right there. Yeah, exactly. And it didn't take long for him to call again, and here we are.
And you're ready to go. Awesome. So what's your feeling for this fight? Where's your mind at with this one?
So just like any opponent, I expect the worst. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's going to get me up early in the morning to push my hardest. I just want to go in there, be the best version of myself, and get this win in any way possible. You know what I mean? Whether it's like a KO or submission decision, but you best believe I'm always going for the finish.
Right. Do you what's the visions like at the leading up to these fights? Like, are you seeing the way you're going to finish it? Is that the exciting part? Just kind of figuring out in your head how it's going to play out?
I don't really think too much into it, how it's going to play out, because ultimately I want to get in there and I want to shut this off. I want my subconscious just to take over. I don't even want to think about anything. Whatever happens, boom, I'm just on it. I'm not overthinking anything, and that's how I like to fight.
Dude, you have a very like Zen energy to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're like
bro.
a very calculated talker, which makes it very hard for me because then I have to come up with ways to go on rants. but it's cool because you can, you're a very kind of laid back, it seems at least.
Oh, thank you, bro.
So how do you have to switch between that mentality and another, or do you take that into the fighting world?
So, yeah, like, honestly, I do take parts of that into training, but I kind of have, like, a little switch. Like, when I'm getting into training, I'm definitely, like, a different mindset, different attitude, different state. You know what I mean? but I have like that switch on and off.
Probably fucking scarier for the person fighting, because you see an aggressive person all the time. You're like, all right, I know what I'm in for. But with you, it's almost like, oh shit, he's a little too quiet and too nice. I don't know what's gonna happen when I get in there. Where did you get that? Were you always like that growing up? This kind of vibe, or is that how your family is?
No, honestly, like when I was younger, I was more like intense. But with the years, with the maturity, I'm like, man, if you don't learn how to turn it on and off, you're gonna be your own worst enemy. So
right.
learn to develop that switch.
Right, not have that ball of like just anxiety.
Yeah, man,
at all times,
too much sometimes. You gotta have the balance.
Bro, was it yesterday? Yeah. So I've been, for who I work for, I was out shooting some Philly stuff, and so I was driving around town, before I would stop and then pull over and get the shots that I needed to get. And there was a guy parked in the middle of the street with the blinkers on in Philly, and and I wait a little bit, and I got cars coming behind me, and I honked the horn, like a super, like hey bro, what do we? Because you could have pulled over, He waved or something, and then a girl got in his car, and then he stopped at the next light. He unbuckled his seatbelt, leaned out of the car, cursed me out, middle finger out the, and I started laughing, and then I'm like, shit, I probably shouldn't laugh because this guy is
this
do I really want to get into I'm not even going to argue with anybody, but like he's so wound up. I was thinking this guy has to be having the shittiest day. Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but it's because man. It's so nice to just chill and, especially coming from a fighter, all you out there kind of chill out a little bit and stop being so high wound. But anyway, so hockey, is that still a passion for you? Like, do you watch it with your family? Is that the number one sport?
Honestly, that's my favorite sport to watch, like on TV.
Flyers, or do you guys?
Yeah, Flyers.
Yeah. Is that because it's a must, or was that growing up the team?
My family doesn't really watch it. Like the only time like we get together and watch it is for my cousin, who's actually signed to the Blackhawks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we watch him, support him.
Oh, that's cool.
But I just enjoy watching hockey because I enjoy watching fights too and everything. But it's what I'm doing all the time. I need a little break from that. I'd rather watch hockey. Entertaining. Guys going after it for 3 periods.
Hockey is entertaining. Like, of all the sports, like my kid now, who's 11, is super into basketball and football, and now he's like getting into a little bit of college, but like he's never gotten really into hockey, and I'm always waiting for that because that'll sit down and watch because it's so much. I don't know. I get bored very easily, so I can't watch baseball.
Same, bro.
I can go to a baseball game and have a beer and food and just kind of enjoy the beautiful day. But as far as like watching it on TV.
Yeah, I can't do football, basketball, or baseball. It doesn't hold my attention. Either. No.
Why?
I don't know, man. The only thing I'm interested with football is Super Bowl for the food. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that. I can't keep track of my kid's got a brain for like remembering all these. I have to like. I'm like, you got to stop. I'm not gonna remember any of these scores or points or like stats that you're just throwing my way. And he's the same. Actually, he's been watching fighting with me for a long time. And so he'll remind me, like, I'll be talking to him. He's like, oh, he has these many fights. I'm like, how do you remember this stuff? Like, I can't keep this stuff straight at all. I was telling Sean, I'm like, not only do I follow the UFC and Bellator and stuff like that, but then I've been trying to really get involved with the CFFC stuff because I feel it's important for me to know about that and have as many guys on and stuff. It's a lot of fighters and a lot of divisions. So I can't keep track of half of these guys.
A lot of talent.
No disrespect. I just can't. My brain is very limited in space. So I want to talk about Philly because I think when you're repping a city, it's a big deal. But when you're repping Philly, it's a whole different type of ball game. Mm-hmm. How does it feel to be a Philly fighter?
It feels pretty damn good, honestly. I feel like as fighters, we definitely stand out from the rest because real hard-nosed grinders, we're willing to put in that work to shine,
It's, you hear it in the broadcast and stuff like that they always kind of like attach that like as a Philly fighter, which I think is awesome, and I think it's true. But does it ever weigh on you a little bit that you got to put on that Philly kind of, or is it just natural to just be who you are?
Man, you know what? Honestly, like I used to deal with like putting unnecessary pressure on myself a lot. Nowadays, I'm just gonna be myself, and that's all I could be, But in order to do that, I gotta put in as much hard work as I can, so I'm the best version of myself. So I take all unnecessary weight off my shoulders.
Do you ever think how it's gonna feel? Because your name's obviously gonna continue to grow. People are gonna continue to know you, and your audience is only going to grow from here. Do you ever stop to think of like what the little kids are thinking that are looking up to you and watching these, you know, like that's my Philly fighter, like local, you know what I mean? Do you ever, it's a real thing. Do you ever think about that stuff at all?
Not really, but like if ever like a kid comes up to me or whatever, wants a picture or whatever, man, I embrace that, dude. That makes me
cool,
feel
right?
good. Oh yeah, makes me feel good.
Man. That's awesome. So your division, you couldn't have picked a harder division. It's a stacked division.
Oh yeah.
Give me some of the names you want to fight, and some of the names that you like super respect. Like that guy's doing the right thing.
So this is gonna be like an open answer right here. I want to fight all of them, and I respect all of them.
All right, dude, you're gonna have to dig deeper for me. No, I feel you, but like a name has to stand out. Who in your division do you think, aside from you, is the best at the moment?
Probably the champ, Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's tough, man.
He's tough as hell.
Yes, he is.
What was he, 200 something pounds, also playing rugby, and then how the hell does he do that?
I don't know, man, but he's definitely. I like his style a lot too. You know, very very good style. You know, pushes that pace. You know.
Yeah. What and then so anybody else in the division that you like? Who are you gonna call before you call them out after you win the 24th? Who you want to call out at this moment?
Man, I'm not even thinking past the 24th yet, bro. I'm just focused. I focus on one thing at a time.
You don't see these guys fighting and say, I can get this guy. I can get this job done quick. I'm just trying to get you to talk trash, man.
Yeah, you know, maybe we do like a post-fight one.
All right.
Like get a little bit of.
Are we gonna do whiskey?
Yeah.
All right, finally somebody joins me. I've been selling whiskey in this show as much as possible, and nobody ever takes me up on it. Probably because we do it too early. Max Holloway? What are your thoughts on Max Holloway?
Beast, man. He's great boxing, great volume, great range for the weight class. Pushes a great pace. And he looked better than ever in his last.
Phenomenal in his last fight.
Yeah, he looked great in his last fight, man.
Cater looked great.
Yeah,
he took a beating, but he looked fantastic. Also taking that beating. I mean, he's a lot of fucking good fighters, man.
Yeah, you got to give whoever wins, loses, or draws, the respect they deserve, man.
Yeah. He's very chill like that too. Like he has that whole Hawaii kind of vibe. The guy just wants to surf and with the kid. And
dude, you got to be chill if you're from Hawaii.
he's like, it's funny. I used to think he used to talk a lot of trash or something for some reason, but then like he's grown on me so much. I don't know. He has a kind of a cool demeanor, and he's very thankful to the people and not to the fighter he's fighting after the fight, even if he loses and stuff like that. So it's very cool. So you don't watch much fighting, but
not too much.
What fight, is there anything that excites you in the next upcoming months?
Well, I definitely hyped to see Masvidal and Usman, yeah.
Do you think it goes any different?
I'm taking Masvidal, bro.
Yeah?
I love Masvidal. Right. Yeah, if I had to pick like a top three, he's definitely in my top three. Yeah.
Why? His style? Or
I just like his style, his persona, his attitude. I like all of it, man.
Did you like him before he became like the?
I've actually been a fan of him for a really, really long time.
Before his second win, kind of thing.
Yeah, before he had the long hair.
Yeah,
like
before what do you call him, Street Jesus? Before Street Jesus. I like him too. I'm gonna have to not pick him, I think, so he can win because I have such bad luck when I pick fighters. I feel like everybody I pick loses, dude. It's the worst. At home, it's like always an argument because I'm pretty ride or die for the guys that I really like. Like I like Till and I do like Connor and who else? Masvidal. There's certain Nate Diaz. Like there's certain people that whether they look Cowboy, dude, you're never gonna get I'm never not gonna go for Cowboy. I don't care who he's fighting. Love Cowboy. Love his his style, his lifestyle, his fighting, all that.
Huge
cool
fan.
Stuff. But I feel like every time I pick and go hard for somebody, they end up losing. So I'm not gonna do that this time. I don't think Usman. I don't think he's going to have that much of a hard time with Masvidal, even if he puts in a whole training camp. Granted, you got to give him credit because he did that last minute thing that that's not easy, dude.
No,
and he
no.
did, and he went up there for the belt. Like that's.
But that's a big part of him that I admire. You know what I mean? Like anytime, anywhere, anybody. You know.
Right, and you got if you say that, then you better when you get the call, you better do it.
Yep.
So and he did it in style. What did he fly a jet in like a sweatsuit and like eating chicken?
It's
and
that was in Abu Dhabi, right?
That was in Abu Dhabi.
That's gotta be a long flight.
Talk about. I mean, I'm sure he made enough money. He did whatever, so I'm sure it wasn't a horrible trip back. But that's gotta do that trip, to do that weight cut. What did he cut? 30 pounds or something? He said
something like that.
It wasn't. I mean, not that rare for fighters, right, to cut that much weight. But to fly that far, cut that much weight, and you're probably not gonna win because you're not gonna put on the best performance. Well, like you maybe knock him out, but you're not gonna probably be able to hang in there 5 rounds.
Yeah, especially
at your highest
5-rounder too. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you're not taking a
too. Oh man, I'm just imagining that right now.
No, that's a beast. So then you got to give him the credit. He was just talking. They were asking him about Askren fighting Jake Paul, and what do you think about that? I mean,
not much, but
nor should you.
I want Askren to win, obviously.
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Do you see that little like when he did
the kind of thing? He called him he said something about his dad bod and called him an old man. Yeah.
And he just turned around and just did that.
Yeah. But, if we can separate it as entertainment, then whatever, it's you can have fun watching it or whatever. But anyway, I only bring that up because Masvidal, he was being asked about that and how it felt for him to go represent. He's like, he doesn't represent MMA. Like, as far as a striker, they picked the worst.
Yeah. I don't know what it represents, honestly, but
Ben Askren said himself, he's like, I don't have not even one fast twitch muscle in my body. Like, when he's admitting that, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, brother, it's so great to have you on. I hope you come back. I'm going to hold you to that. Everybody, I'm going to harass him as much as I have to get him back on the show to drink some whiskey after the fights.
I'm all in, brother.
Cool.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.